YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Today we got the Atlanta Falcons record prediction going through game by game, and then we'll circle back to best case, worst case scenario. Doing this for every single NFL team. This is the last of the NFC South, and there's a playlist of all these videos on the channel, and then eventually we'll get playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions. We'll have some player rankings heading into the season, so really excited about the content coming up. Hopefully you can join us. Smash the like button, subscribe. Make sure you follow that Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, a lot of updates here on the channel in the NFL, a lot going on, and I post polls, so I'm going to post one right after this video, actually, who wins the NFC South. You guys are voting for that along the way, eventually kind of creating a video of your own there, fan predictions for this season. PlayoffPredictors.com is the website we use for all these videos. You can check it out, make your own predictions. Atlanta Falcons, interesting team, because I was actually, which is rare, at one point I was a little hyped on them. Kind of went a little cold on that, but it was kind of rare to be hyped on a team like that because they didn't really get better on the field. I think they got better with their coaching staff for sure. I like Arthur Smith and Dean Pease, and usually those teams that don't really get better on the field, I'm not really a fan. I'm not really going to predict big things from them, but again, I really do think the coaching staff changes things. I like the way their defense was heading at times last year. I think the offense could be explosive, and I thought they had the hardest schedule in football last year, so that can turn it around. But why I kind of went cold on that a little bit, kind of going back to what's on the field. Nothing against Mike Davis here, but I think this team needs a strong, a really solid running back for it to have as much success as we want it to have. And you take away Julio. Well, I love Kyle Pitts, adding Kyle Pitts, but taking away Julio from that. And still questions in the offensive line. This offensive line could actually be very good, or it could struggle at times. How will Caleb McGarry be at right tackle? Really that's, some young centers. I'm not really too worried about that, but the offensive line could be a little inconsistent. I do think it's heading in the right track, though. Defense, another thing that's inconsistent. There was weeks towards the end of the last year where it actually looked like one of the better defenses that week, which was surprising, the Falcons defense. But it's hard to trust that to be consistent. Do they have enough pass rush? They didn't really add much to this team. I do think guys like Dante Fowler Jr. could be better in this Dean Pease scheme, perhaps. So it's an interesting team. I do think, once again, a pretty tough schedule. I thought it was the hardest schedule in football last year. Not the hardest this year, but it's still very hard. Eagles and Falcons. I'll take the Falcons here. I mean, Hurts could be a little bit of a problem. Eagles pass rush could get after Matt Ryan. I still think the Falcons will be explosive enough on offense to put up those points. Can the Eagles keep up? They're pretty even in terms of their defenses. The Eagles got a little more pass rush, obviously. The Falcons in that one. I got the Bucs in week 2. Just better on both sides of the ball, in my opinion. It doesn't guarantee they're going to win. The better team doesn't always win, but I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. Back and forth in this Falcons-Giants game. I honestly, Falcons, we could circle back and do best case. Falcons could definitely win this game. I just like the matchup for the Giants, to be honest. I like their defense for the Falcons. I think they can slow them down. They're going to stop the run first, and they're going to play very well in the secondary. Matt Ryan still, he's kind of like Brady. He's still got the arm strength. He's still got the touch pass. Hasn't lost that for aging, but making some interesting decisions, panics a little earlier in the pocket. And I think the Giants secondary, this is one of those games, the Falcons offense should have success majority of games for sure. I think the Giants, I think this defense presents a pretty good problem for the Falcons. And I guess it's on Daniel Jones in this game. You got to put the ball in the end zone. I think you can against the Falcons defense. I think you can. Washington, Atlanta, they're one of those back-to-back tough defensive games. I think Washington gets pressure on Matt Ryan, forces some turnovers. I do think they can move the ball on the Falcons as well. Take them over the Jets, Falcons, Dolphins. Another one. This is one of those games where I think, in this Arthur Smith scheme, I think you need a better running back. I think if they had, you're not going to be able to find a Derrick Henry just like that, for Arthur Smith, his system. But if you had a better one here, I think that's what controls this game. And I think they just run it down the throats of the Dolphins here, and that decides this game. But I don't trust them a whole bunch in that category. I like this Dolphins defense. I do think they can score on the Falcons as well. I'll take the Dolphins. Get the Falcons beating the Panthers. Falcons, Saints. I had the Saints beating them twice. That's one we could go either way here. Falcons, Cowboys, a shootout game. I'm going to trust the Cowboys a little more. on offense. It depends on if they're healthy or not, though. They very well, you can predict them to be hurt because it seems like they always are, and that could change that. Patriots, Falcons. It's another one of those. Yeah, it's a tough schedule. They play those great game planning defenses that really could stop this offense. This Falcons team is all about offense. You have to be scoring X amount of points to be winning these games. This is one I'm back and forth. I think an absolute shootout. Yeah, I trust both offenses, surprisingly, because the Jags are young, pretty evenly. I actually think the Falcons defense could be the difference here. I do worry about the Jags defense a bit more. Looks a little messy right now. We'll see how it is at the end of the season. It's a pretty good draw to play the Jaguars later. Early on it's tough. What do we have to game plan for? What kind of offense is this? So I'll actually take the Falcons in that one. The Bucs beating them twice. Having them splitting with the Panthers is not ideal here. 49ers are already beat up. It's a team I don't trust to stay healthy down the stretch of the season. Shanahan playing his old team. I don't know if the 49ers get enough offense going on this one. The Falcons can make those extra plays to win the game. I'll take the Falcons actually against the Niners. Falcons against the Lions. Take the Bills. I have the Saints beating them twice, but this is definitely one I can. Yeah, week 18. You're starting to get an identity on the Jameis Winston Saints. The Falcons could be getting better, with their new coaching staff. Take the Falcons, that one kind of back and forth. 7-10, not ideal. I think this team's very capable because of their offense to be better in this. Just wish they had a better running game because that's what the key to opening things up for Matt Ryan. Kind of circling back, go best case. They can beat the Giants for sure. I think they could beat the Dolphins. I think home against the I did have them beating the 49ers. Best case is probably around the 10-win range, which is tough. Worst case, it's probably right around where we had it, to be honest. Close enough to that. I had them losing there. Could lose to the Saints twice for worst case here. I definitely think they lose the Jags. So 5 wins. I just don't really see that, but it's very possible. Another tough schedule for them. I feel like I'm saying everyone has a tough schedule. It's because I think the NFL is in a pretty damn good place with talent. There's more talent than ever. It doesn't really feel like there's a bad team out there. I think if Texans don't have Deshaun Watson, that's kind of a bad team. They almost want it to be a bad team, I think, over there is the way what it looks like. But kind of going back to... We had them beating the Saints here. We had him, around that range. That's tough. It's just, they're kind of somewhere in. They can win now, but are they kind of shading towards that rebuild? It's strange there for them. But I like the coaching staff. Again, wish the running game was a little better for Arthur Smith-led team here, coach team. And I love me some Dean Pease. He's always been a great defensive coordinator, so that can really turn things around. They got a pretty good young corner group. A.J. Terrell looked way better than I thought he would last year. Dante Fowler was a little underwhelming, but I think he's pretty solid. I think he could be even better this year. Love me some Grady Jarrett. The linebacker duo looks fantastic. So it's there was weeks down the stretch of last year. I was like, this defense looks really good. That's fantastic for the future. So maybe they're more balanced than we think. Maybe their defense plays like that a little more consistently, and their offense gets back to that high-powered Falcons offense, which is definitely a possibility. So maybe they're just if they're on the offense defense the same page, it's a scary team. It could be sneaky. So that's one of the teams I'm kind of on the fence about. At one point, I was thinking this could be a playoff team for sure. Tough schedule. Maybe the lack of actually getting better on the field is kind of keeping me away from fully going that route. So it is a little tough. That's going to do it for the Falcons record prediction, though. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. We got a playlist full of all of these videos. You guys are voting for who wins each division on our Twitter, and there's constant news on there. So check it out. Link down below for anything you need. That's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.